I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the invocation by Councilman Tabor and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Nakam.
And Father, that you lead us and guide us, Father, that you just bring us the words we need to have, Lord, the information we need, Lord, to make the right decisions, Father God. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We welcome you to the Lafayette Parish Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form and submit to our clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if necessary. Items for submission to the council should be handed to Council Clerk Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 3-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. Any interruption of this lawful assembly is prohibited and will not be tolerated. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices at this time. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, call 291-8800. Chair has a few announcements. Absence this evening is A.B. Rubin, District 5. He's unable to attend the meeting. Item number 5, PR 007-2021 resolution, City Parish Alignment Committee, CPA Committee. An amendment is proposed correctly naming George Lewis as the chair in the 5th whereas clause instead of Bruce Conk. Item number 26, PO-030-2021, Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds. Community Development requested that this ordinance be deferred indefinitely. I would like to wish happy birthday to Robert Benwell, Fire Chief, which he will celebrate on July 11th. I saw him early, and congratulations, Chief. I would also like to wish a happy birthday to Greg Logan, our city parish attorney, which he will celebrate on July 14th. Congratulations, Mr. Logan. And one other announcement that brings sadness. Probably most of you have already heard that Neil Burke, who served on the council several years ago, probably in the late 80s, early 90s, passed away today. So let's keep him and his family in our prayers. Any council announcements? Okay, not any. Seeing any, we'll go to the Executive Mayor President's report. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All I have is budget. Well, I have 2 items now. Budget to actual comparison of major parish funds. May 2021 preliminary has been submitted to you. Director Toops is behind me if you have any questions. And then also, in amending my executive report, I want to wish also Mr. Wallace Senegal a happy birthday, who's in attendance. Very much a community leader, and I consider him a good friend. 47, not 74. Depends on how you put the numbers, right? You like to switch it? I'm with you.
Excellent.
But not, that's right. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the Mayor President? Okay, resolution. John, now, this is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Parish Resolution 7, 2021, a resolution of the Lafayette Parish Council creating the CPA City Parish Alignment Commission to inform by means of an ongoing performance and process review to improve the overall delivery of services, identify strengths and weaknesses, and advise the Lafayette Parish Council on recommendations to strengthen the working relationship between the City of Lafayette and the Parish of Lafayette.
An amendment is proposed to correctly name George Lewis as the chair in the 5th whereas clause instead of Bruce Conks. Do I have a motion? Second.
So moved.
It has been moved by Councilman
Wait.
Carlson.
Did they do a motion to put it on the floor? I don't think you did an initial motion to put it on the floor before the amendment.
You ask somebody to offer it.
I need someone to offer the amendment.
Yeah, you asked for, number 3, asked for a motion. Oh.
Ask for a motion and second on the proposed amendment.
Yeah, that's incorrect, I'm sorry. No, you asked for a motion and a second, number 1. That is correct, number 1. And then an amendment is proposed, but we didn't get a motion and a second. I don't think we got an initial motion on the second to put it on the floor, the initial
I
motion.
need a motion and a second to put the amendment on the floor. Been moved by Councilman Carlson, seconded by,
Not amendment,
Exactly.
resolution.
clarify for Ms. Williams.
You need a motion and a second to put the actual resolution first on the floor.
I need a motion and a second to put the resolution on the floor.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded by Councilman Carlson and seconded by Councilman Nakam. I understand that there is an amendment that is being proposed to name George Lewis as the chair in the 5th whereas clause instead of Bruce Conk. I will need a motion and a second.
I could ask him. She could put it in our lap.
It has been moved by Councilman Carlson and seconded by Councilman Tabor. Any discussion on the amendment? Yes, Councilman. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And really, just as a point of clarification, this was simply a clerical error on my part. And once I was given the correct information, I wanted to make sure that this was corrected in the document. So just wanted to put that out for record. No intent to incorrectly name the chairperson for that prior charter commission.
Mr. Tabor.
Yeah, I'd like to offer another amendment to strike in section 5, bullet point number 2, where it says, how can Lafayette Parish Council and all those members have constituents in Lafayette City best protect LUS tax ratepayers and ensure the competitive success of LUS and LUS fiber. I'd like to ask that to be removed. I know they had some conversation,
Second.
So it is,
And if you would like to, Josh Carlson and Brian Tabor made the initial amendment, and we can include it and roll it all into one motion. So we'll have the 2 amendments in one motion. If Josh Carlson is okay with it, you're okay with adding that?
we'll
And
roll
Brian
it
Tabor
together
made the
as
motion.
one. Okay, great.
And I'll add this. I'm fine with that. I mean, I think that statement certainly has been overblown over the last week or so. And I'll say it for the public record. That statement is in no way a desire or attempt for the parish council to overstep its bounds or its authority. I think we all are aware that the city council alone is the governing body for LUS. But we have the desire to protect LUS ratepayers, regardless of where they live, because if you are an LUS ratepayer in the city of Lafayette, you are a resident of Lafayette Parish, and we want to ensure that you are protected. Not to mention that we do have LUS, both utility and fiber payers that live outside the city limits of Lafayette and have no representation currently, but to not give everyone heartburn, and I think it makes everything simpler, I do support the amendment.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Williams, before we vote, would you read the two amendments as proposed?
The first amendment is to change the name from Bruce Conk to George Lewis as the chair of the former Charter Commission. And the second amendment includes deleting the references to LUS and LUS fiber in the questioning phase of the resolution.
Council members, any question or discussion on the resolution as amended or proposed?
On the
amendment. Mhm. Okay, if not, then any public comments, Ms. Williams? On the amendment?
We would have to ask if there are any questions on the amendment, because they didn't know of the, especially at LUS, because they did have people who signed in. But hearing none, you could, yeah, we'll call for the vote.
We do. Come forward, sir.
Oh, they do. Oh, I'm sorry. And he did sign a card to speak on the resolution, the final resolution.
But we're having conversation on the amendment.
This is strictly on the amendment.
By commenting now, does that forfeit my opportunity
No.
to comment again?
You get to comment
Okay, because I
again.
want to comment on the issue related to LUS for sure. My name is Andrew Duyon, and I'm a resident of the city of Lafayette. I'm also a retiree of LUS. A lot of you know me. I've been, worked for LUS for 30 years, served in the top management position there. And the city council has established the Protect the City Committee to explore how consolidation has affected the citizens of the city of Lafayette. The City Parish Alignment Commission seems only to undermine the work of that PTC. Now I'm getting to the LUS part. The second bulleted question in the resolution is the one you're trying to amend here, of course, about LUS. The Parish Council has no standing to review the success of LUS. LUS and LUS Fiber are owned totally and solely by the citizens of the city of Lafayette, not the parish. And with all due respect, even those customers that are outside the city of Lafayette, those are very few and far between. And in fact, most of the customers that receive LUS services, particularly water, receive it through a wholesale contract. That's a contract that's between either the water district or the small town that buys the water from Lafayette. So therefore, calling for a review of the success by the Parish Council has no more standing than, say, the city of Broussard calling for a review of its operations. In fact, there's an inherent conflict between the parish and LUS insofar as LUS sells wholesale water to parish entities such as Water District North, Water District South. It's extremely concerning to me as a citizen, as a city of Lafayette resident, a citizen owner and customer of LUS, that one of its customers, i.e. the parish, would think it could opine about the success of LUS. And I can imagine what your argument will be that some city residents or LUS customers reside in the parish district, therefore I should have standing to represent them. And my answer to that will be, leave that representation to the city council. I live in Pat Lewis's city council district, and I live in Brian's parish council district. And Brian, as much as I respect you as my council representative, I would never call you about an LUS issue or any other city issue. That's totally in Pat's purview. And by the way, by using the logic of this resolution, perhaps Pat and all the city council should be allowed to vote on parish issues, such as the library. After all, the main branch resides within the city of Lafayette, and the courthouse, that's a parish function, but it's seated within the city. Or the correctional center, same argument. Parish function, but seated in the city of Lafayette. The logical leaps that this resolution promotes open up a Pandora's box. Let the city of Lafayette be the city of Lafayette. Let it manage its own assets like LUS and LUS Fiber without the intrusion of the parish council. And let the parish council get back to its primary functions, and that's statutorily defined. The courthouse, the jail, roads, bridges, drainage, all those things. And finally, allow the city its own government and its own mayor. The government we have now is just not fair to the people of the city of Lafayette. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Williams, any other public comments?
I didn't know if any, oh, yes, there is someone else that
Make them stick
wants
to
to
the
speak
amendment.
to the amendment.
Make sure they're speaking.
Again, I remind you, speak to the amendments.
Hello, my name is Will Keeley. I live in Parish District 5. represented by Councilman A.B. Rubin. I support the amendment. I hope you vote in favor of the amendment, but I did want to offer my thoughts about it. Respectfully to Councilman Carlson, it's not heartburn. It is a wild, gross negligence to include LUS and LUS fiber in a parish resolution that I don't understand why you would. I mean, this is basic Lafayette Consolidated Government 101. We all know that LUS and LUS fiber are owned by the city residents of Lafayette. And if any of those city residents of Lafayette have any issue with either entity, they all, every single one of them, have a city councilman or councilwoman that they can bring their issues to. There are a handful of people that receive LUS services that don't live in the city. Those people asked for LUS services, and the city council granted them an exception at a higher premium rate to receive LUS services. If they're not happy with those services, like any free market capitalism, they can go to any other business they'd like to for those services. So it's not heartburn, Councilman. It is not. It was, I mean, it's the reason why the media jumped on it so quickly. We all know that LUS and LUS fiber are governed by the city council and are owned by the city residents. And this council has nothing to do with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Williams, any other public comments?
I see no other indication of commenting.
Okay. Council members, any questions on the amendment, the motion that's before us? Not hearing any, let's vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to amend to change the name from Bruce Conk to George Lewis and to delete the reference to LUS and LUS fiber is approved.
Okay, now I'll call for a discussion on the ordinance as amended. I'm going to take the floor at this point. What I'd like to do is now set the stage for my remarks with reference to the City Parish Alignment Commission, or CPA resolution as we have referred to it, that I bring before you along with fellow Councilman Josh Carlson. I have presented myself on both sides of the argument with the utmost respect. We had some very pointed, informative discussions. What I learned, the need for more discussion, more time with this matter. There is plenty of history, years of it, but I will fast forward to 2018. Voters approved the charter fixes in a low voter turnout, a charter that we have now operated under for about 18 months in a period of disaster, COVID, unrest, storms, budget woes, new administration and council, and you know the rest of the story. Are you telling me that is sufficient time to make a 180 or 360 in terms of a course of action such as consolidation versus deconsolidation? I do not think so. We go from A directly to Z, deconsolidation, rather than from A to Z where we consider all, and I do mean all issues, in a most deliberative process. The trust factor with our citizens is on a destructive path, folks. No confidence. And there are those among us, as their elected body, of fostering that anxiety, the uncertainties, the confusions via our own actions, when our undivided attention should be on issues such as roads, drainage, bridges, public safety, floodwaters, economic growth. That has been the plea of our citizens. That is their priorities that they give to us daily. What message are we sending to potential investors? A message of question, indecision? Certainly not a healthy environment is being advanced. We must be gawked with a jaundiced eye by these investors. Has the 2018 charter been put to the test? I do not think so. Has a sufficient track record been established to outline charter weaknesses and strengths? Again, I do not think so. Has any attempt to improve the working relationship between the mayor-president and the councils been advanced? I have not witnessed such. We say, hit the pause button so we can better inform ourselves by means of an ongoing performance, financial, and process review. How can we improve the overall delivery of services and financials, identify the strengths and weaknesses, and how can we strengthen the working relationship between the city and the parish of Lafayette? Councilman Tabor stated recently, and I quote, "Supporters are again rushing to change the charter. We cannot bicker and argue like this all the time," close quote. He is absolutely right. We need to turn our attention to the question, has the 2018 charter fixes been effective? And if not, how do we upright the problem areas and not just give up on the entire charter as written? I truly believe that we can get to the bottom of the matter with open and honest discussions and let the art of negotiation kick in. If you read the PTC draft report, a previous charter commission advanced the idea that issues were identified that could possibly be resolved through further discussions and a joint rule ordinance between the two councils. Can we find common ground on those questions? We do not advance a predetermined agenda with this CPA resolution. We suggest a complete open book on the matter of the charter and let the facts drive the next step actions. And let me say, the city as well as the parish present legitimate concerns. The current charter is not perfect and has its flaws. And it is not the intent of the parish council to interfere with the business of city government. We should seek ongoing, continuous, and I stress continuous, this is a living document, through a living commission, recommendations across the spectrum of our community as to how we can improve, strengthen the voter-approved charter. What are the weak chapters, sections, and shore up with viable solutions, not haphazard solutions, thoughtless solutions. Solutions that are fully vetted, void of personal conflict. Employ a common sense approach to what has become a most sensitive issue. Seems reasonable to me, and probably the right approach. Why not take time to have this on discussion if we are truly committed to addressing the charter that works for the benefit of Lafayette Parish? After all, they are the reason, are they not? In the business world, we do annual and semi-annual performance evaluations reviews to determine the business's strengths and weaknesses, and then we adjust accordingly. Why wouldn't we want to take that same protocol with the charter? Not only services, but funding issues as well. I certainly question as to how we can advance as a community, How do we expect to grow void of a self-evaluation? I guess it is only possible if we live in a bubble or in a vacuum. How many times do we plan to go to the citizens with charter amendments, fixes? Things not going well, we go to the voters to change. We don't like something in the charter, we go to the voters. When do we stand tall and offer solutions, constructive solutions per our responsibilities as an elected official of the people? We need to spend time with the charter before advancing wholesale changes. And I am talking about productive time. How do you know that the current charter is not working? Because John Gilbo said so, or a group said so, or I had a knee-jerk dream last night? I am one who likes to base my position on facts, supporting data, and not hearsay, unsupported statements, and even worse, because I said it is so. Build a narrative based on facts. Allow the data, the facts to drive the decisions of the CPA Commission to its conclusion. My fellow councilman Josh Carlson made a statement, and I quote, "Some things can be done without calling a charter commission. Prepare a plan and come to the councils with an idea for change." That, my friends, is the centerpiece of this CPA resolution that we bring before this body this evening. Finally, I would be remiss if I did not raise statements that Councilman Lewis advanced in an article by Claire Taylor with the Acadian Advocate. Councilman Lewis stated, and I quote, "It does not matter what the report says. They, the parish council, want to appoint their own committee. Sure, why not proceed? Why shouldn't we proceed? We did not stand in the way of the city council. We did not even question your actions." Mr. Lewis, and I quote again, "If they, the parish council, cared, they would wait and see if we can work together." We do care. We do care. And we feel that we can work together. Can you? And I quote, "He, Mr. Lewis, has no regrets about including parish representatives on the committee," close quotes. Wow, that really fosters a healthy working relationship, unless one does not care. Again, Mr. Lewis, quote, "Wait for the final report to be issued before the parish council moves forward." Well, my comment to that is if I had to wait on a green light to begin, that green light probably would never turn on. It would still be red. But any negotiations, per Mr. Lewis, and I quote, "would only kick in if a vote to convene a charter commission fails, and then we would be willing to negotiate," close quote. So we don't get our way, we then negotiate. Mr. Lewis, quote, "I would not want to work with the parish council." Wow, is that ever a conflicting, divisive position? Again, quoting Mr. Lewis, "Keep the politics out of this." Now that is a loaded statement of interest coming from Mr. Lewis. One final salvo of desperation was shot across the bow, and I quote, "Parish council is accused of oppression," meaning unlawful, corrupt, wrongful exercise of authority. Unlawful, corrupt, wrongful exercise of authority. Are you kidding me? When I hear such inflammatory statements, I certainly question, can we move past such divisive, contradictory statements? Is there hope in this dialogue? I prayerfully say that we can. We will rise above the conflicting rhetoric to find the silver lining, the olive branch that places us on a path of consensus building that works for our residents, And for those of you who are yearning for a boxing match between the city council and the parish council, sorry. You missed the opportunity under my watch. You bought a scam ticket to an event that will not exist. Go ask for a refund. Can we work together to improve, strengthen the charter that the voters asked us to work under and that we took an oath to uphold? That seems to be a level-headed request, and the rational answer would be yes. To improve, to grow, to form a more perfect community, we need one another. We need the gifts of each other. So let us put our big boy, big girl pants on and work together as one and offer solutions to the charter. Find that common ground. Need I remind all, the citizens are the reason. As public servants, we are expected to keep the welfare of the public and society above our own. We took an oath to fulfill that responsibility. To make a difference, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect. You just have to care. And a little common sense does go a long way. Thank you. Councilman Nakim.
Shoo, man, I'm gonna take a break, man. Man, y'all all right out there? All right. As many of you know, I've been here 8 years. I served 2 years under consolidation. This is my last term. I do not want to run for mayor president in the future. I don't want to run for parish mayor, city. I don't want to have nothing to do with no future politics. Just putting it out there. Got nothing to worry about, we good. I want to be honest, and I want to hit you with the facts. I don't have nothing prepared. I ain't writing no big old biography, right? You didn't do nothing wrong. You're good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm tired. I'm tired of this fight. Tired of pointing fingers. I'm tired of blaming this person, blaming this council, blaming this, blaming administration. It's got to stop. I've been on a council. We have put committees together because it's a feel-good story. We're just going to put a committee together because we're going to get all the answers we need. Veronica, how many committees I put together? And we had a future funding source committee. We had recommendations. We had citizen taxpayers that served on this committee and worked for years and gave the recommendations. And we did absolutely pacan with it. Nothing. Nothing. I think we got off on the wrong foot when I just think the name Protect the City is kind of pointing the finger at the parish. When you look at it like this, all the parish is fault. I know why the city wants to. I'm here to tell you, I'm not against you. I want you to have your own mayor. I want you to have your own elected police chief. But shooting shots at each other and name calling and pointing fingers and making accusations that the parish is stealing money and, in 8 years I've been here, the parish has not stolen any money. If we want to look at who stole the money, which I don't want to go down that road, let's look at annexation, for example. The city has lost its autonomy through consolidation. Now you got your own council. Parish got their own council. We lost revenue. The parish has lost just like the city has lost. But has the city not grown? I sat on a council and got fussed at because I supported the Costco development where Dixon Field, the streams, and everything else is over there. How much revenue did that bring in for the city of Lafayette? A lot. Did the parish council stop that from happening? Absolutely not. How about the park? I got a plaque in my office because I was a parish councilman that supported the Lafayette city to develop that park. The parish didn't stop that park from happening under consolidation. This is not a money issue. This is The city of Lafayette wanting their mayor, wanted to have their autonomy, and I agree with you. How can we get there without doing what we've done in the past, is let's elect a charter commission who has 18 months to try to figure this government out, and only to come down with the same recommendation they gave 3 times. Deconsolidation or consolidation. The first time the parish didn't want to consolidate, the city overvoted it, boom, we consolidated. Well, let's go bring it back. Then the city don't want to be consolidated. They want to deconsolidate. Now the parish wants to. But every time it was brought to the voters, not one person can say what the divorce is going to cost. Anybody gets a divorce today, there's a cost involved. And nobody wins. Somebody gets hurt. In a divorce, it's the kids. And this issue is the taxpayers. Because you cannot give them the answers of what it's going to cost to truly separate it. My recommendation is hire a firm to come in here and see what it looks like. You can't form a charter commission. You can't do none of that until you know what it's going to cost you. That's going to take a long time. What has the parish council done good under this new charter with the split? I'll tell you. Parks and Recreation. We don't get enough credit. This council has worked with all the mayors. Administration has busted our rear end to meet with every mayor, every small town and municipality to get Parks and Rec out of the city government hands. To get the parish out of the city's Parks and Rec votes. We did that. That would have never happened in my first 8 years under consolidation, because there was more city work that needed to be done and less focus on how do we fix the parish. Now we have a split council and we're focusing on how to fix the parish. We heard the city say, it's not fair. Why is the parish voting on our when the majority of the parks are in the city of Lafayette? So we listen to you. We want to work with you. So me and Sidra and the whole administration spent almost a year drawing up contracts. Well, have you know this coming budget? The parish ain't in the city's budget for Parks and Recreation. Scott got their part. Tucson got their part. Judy's got their part. Okay, so that's a good sign of where we at. All right? But I don't know how to tell you other than my recommendation would be stop fighting and start looking at, can you fix it under consolidation? Can you fix it under its current format? We never looked at that. All we ever looked at was divorce. Is it possible to be consolidated in the city of Lafayette, have their own mayor? Is it possible the parish has a parish manager and the parish council reports to that person, but still use the same CAO, CFO, same directors? Have we looked at the allocation process? All I'm saying is if you're going to deconsolidate and that's the wish, then somebody has to pay the parish back for the money that was taken. That's your child support. How do you find that? All I'm trying to say is I'm not in favor of forming a charter commission. It has to be, in my opinion, the city council of Lafayette, the parish council of Lafayette. That's why y'all pay us the big bucks, right? That's why we have to make those decisions. We have to come together and we have to make it work. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. If you want to blame it on the money and you want to look at the allocation, then you have to be honest and say, well, how much was taken from the parish over the last 20 years in form of annexation? But again, that's going down the road of pointing the finger. I don't want to point the finger. It's not a money problem. It's an autonomy problem. And how do you get there and still have respect for one another? Yeah, the parish courthouse is in the city of Lafayette, Andrew. I know that. That's drawing lines in the sand. It's putting borders all around everybody. We got to stop that. Okay? I hope your committee is listening to what I'm telling them, whoever's on there. I didn't want to support this because I thought it was just another tit for tat. Let's put another committee together to put a committee together so we can just have a committee. I'm not in favor of committees after committees. I'm in favor of somebody coming with some real answers and joining hands and say, my bad, I didn't mean to say that, I'm sorry. How do we get where we need to get? So I'm in favor of the city getting what you want. Stop name calling, stop bullying, stop picking at one another, and ask one question. Why haven't we looked at it and tried to fix it under consolidation instead of deconsolidation? Because you can't get my vote to go to the people and say, vote yes or no on consolidation or deconsolidation, and you have zero answers. Is services going to be less? We might have to pay more taxes? I want that to float out there. I want a committee to say deconsolidation, you might have to raise taxes. I want that to come out and see where that vote's going to go. So your only option to get what you want and fix it, I think, is through consolidation and making the mayor happen and making this happen. But to me, my opinion, you got to look at this thing and try to hold it together. It hasn't been bad for the city in the standpoint that you have developed, you have annexed, you have growth, you have developments. Parish has never stopped you from growing. Parish has not stopped you one bit from development. Now, had the parish council at the time vote to stop that project with Costco, then you could blame us. If we would have voted to stop the horse farm, you could have blamed us. That would have been real reasons to look at that. You know? So I want the city to have what you want. I want the parish to be successful, and I want everybody to win. How do we get there? We got to work together. I'm tired of all of the news articles and the fighting and the quotes, and got to get there. Somehow, some way, I'm on everybody's team to get it done. City of Lafayette Council, I'm more than glad to meet with you. I'm more than glad to charter ourselves and look at it and figure it out. I'm willing to hire a consultant to come in and look at it. But until you figure out what it actually looks like and what it costs the taxpayers, how can anybody stand up and be 100% comfortable in supporting something when you don't even have the answers? So, thank you. I'm going to give me another bottle of water. Appreciate you.
Mr. Carlson, you want the mic? Oh, you didn't? Okay. Mr. Tabor? Okay. Not hearing from any additional council members. Ms. V, will turn to public comments on the resolution as amended.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Citizens who did not wish to speak, who called in and signed in, 30 are in support of the resolution, 10 are in opposition to the resolution. We do have 11 citizens who are signed in to speak, the first of which is Mark Pope. He will be followed by Jared Eubanks. If Jared, you could come forward and be ready for the next.
And let me remind you, that there is a 3-minute limit on your time, so please stay within it. Mr. Pope, you're up.
Thank you. Kevin, how you spell pecan? Pecan.
Pecan. My daddy spelled that P-E-C-O-N.
Okay, gotcha. So,
Maybe
wow.
every now and then.
Gotcha. This is some deep stuff, obviously. I am Mark Pope. I am currently sitting on the Protect the City Committee. I am the lone dissenting vote to the majority paper that is currently still a draft, and I have an alternate view. First off, this whole project to me is not personal. It's pragmatic. There's no, of course, you've got personalities and politics, yes, are involved. I came in as a blank slate. I worked 27 years for Lafayette Consolidated Government, Lafayette Parish Government. Then when consolidation happened, June 6th, 1996, I became an LCG employee. Half of my time, half of those 27 years, I was in management. I managed a $15 million budget, the environmental division. I know a good deal about the budget process. Nonetheless, I came in as a blank slate. There's a lot of confusion about the new government. You all ran for office, so did I. I can say from my perspective, there was massive confusion. I would say that 60% of the people that I talked to did not know what was going on. And now we want to change this again. We are in this current, I'll say mess, because of fix the charter. Haste makes waste. It was bumper sticker slogans. It was heavily funded by an advocacy group. The same people that push for fix the charter are pushing for this. There is an agenda. I can say that. I'm speaking my opinion. Now I would like to pique a little bit of interest in my 8-page report. The body of the report is 8 pages. So do you have it, Mark? You ready to hand it out? No, I'm not, because I'm double checking my facts. What I would like to do is pique a little bit of interest in that report. A lot of things are said in there that are not being said. There are 2 sides to every story. I'm not going to give you my point of view, and I'm not going to editorialize. Here is the table of contents. Introduction, another perspective. These are sections. Establishing the PTCC, some common ground, misunderstandings and myths. Legal entities and evolution of LCG, not rational, not reasonable. The basis for so-called parish deficits, correcting erroneous information, and my favorite section, the expert got it wrong. So that will be out in a couple of weeks. I see I'm short on time. I promised Brian I'd wrap up early. So thank you for what you're doing. I think it's a good thing. There's 2 sides to every story.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker, Jared Eubanks, followed by Will Teely.
Good evening. My name is Jared Eubanks. I'm a homeowner and Lafayette Parish taxpayer in District 5. Thank you for your time this evening. I've attended multiple town halls over the last month. There were some clear themes that arose. A large majority of city residents feel they should be able to elect their own mayor at the very least. A statement echoed not only by Parish Councilman Mr. Tabor attending at least one of these meetings, but a stance our current mayor president ran on. People there also expressed a desire that the city council have control, oversight, and accountability for the way their city tax dollars are spent. It's strange that this sentiment would be heard, and then that the parish councilmen that represent us would turn and say, how do we get further away from that kind of government? Likewise, it's strange, if not unsurprising, that a mayor president who said he might be the first politician in America running on a platform of having less power changed his mind once he had said power. Now, while it's strange that this commission seems set up distinctly to thwart the will of the people, it's truly baffling that it seems also poised to exacerbate the very issues that have brought us here. Even without the clear overreach that the unprecedented power grab at city-owned assets that just got struck out, this seems to go on a mission to oversee city spending. It talks about protecting LCG tax dollars, ignoring there are no such thing as LCG tax dollars. There are city and parish tax dollars. This document pursues control over this because the parish council, quote-unquote, also represents city residents, but doesn't acknowledge that nearly half their constituents, and growing, are not residents of the city. This harkens back to Mr. Carlson objecting on technical grounds of not being included when the city council tried to allocate city dollars to the Hyman Center, to when the city council couldn't talk to constituents about layoffs at the parks they pay for because no one on the parish council had the courage to second it. Conveniently, the fact that the parish council represents the city of Lafayette also is forgotten 2 questions later when it asks if parish tax dollars are spent in the city. I can answer that for you. Yes, they are, as they should be, because it's part of the parish of Lafayette and we pay parish tax dollars. The audacity to simultaneously task the same group with finding ways to improve this council's relationship with the city council while answering these pointed, inflammatory questions is staggering. Now, I'm not asking the parish council to step aside and not represent me. No, I'm here tonight as a resident of the parish demanding representation. If you truly think there are these severe structural problems with the form of our government, whether they're detrimental to the residents outside the city, within, or both, this is the wrong answer. You should be looking for actionable solutions, not setting up a 4-year commission that will outlast your terms on this council. If you really want to improve things, you can start this commission concurrently with a charter commission that'll run at least 18 months, so you can start working on fixes to problems identified, not just complain. I'm asking you to lead with vision and direction, not kick the can while using this commission as a scapegoat.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Next speaker, Will Teely, followed by Andrew Duyon.
Hello, my name is Will Teely. I live in Parish District 5. I am a parish homeowner who pays parish property taxes. Councilman A.B. Rubin represents me. I ask you to please vote against this resolution to form the CPA committee or further amend it to fix its many issues. Here are my reasons why. Number one, this committee, in its current form, is clearly a delay tactic. Section 4 of the resolution states that the CPA committee shall meet monthly or as necessary, and that the terms of its members should be for 2 years with a possible renewal of 2 years on top of that. This means this committee might not produce anything, a report, a recommendation, anything in 4 years' time. This committee will end up reporting to a completely different parish council than the one that created it. For comparison, our founding fathers drafted the U.S. Constitution in 4 months. Yet you need 4 years to investigate the Lafayette Home Rule Charter? Issue number 2, Section 5 of this resolution states the mission of the CPA committee is to review the performance and processes of the Parish of Lafayette, the City of Lafayette, and the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government. But I ask, how legally can the Parish Council create a parish committee that gets to review the performance and processes of the City of Lafayette? You have no jurisdiction over the City of Lafayette. This committee can't review LUS or LUS Fiber. I ask you to strike the mention of the City of Lafayette from Section 5 of the resolution. Number 3, Question 5 of the resolution asks, are parish tax dollars being spent within the city limits of Lafayette? I can answer that myself. Yes, they are, and they should be, because the city of Lafayette is in the parish of Lafayette. City of Lafayette residents pay parish property taxes. Why does this question exist at all? Issue number 4. Most importantly, question 6 of the resolution asks, how can the working relationship be improved amongst the city council, the parish council, and the mayor president? That's also easy. When the city of Lafayette wants to spend city of Lafayette tax dollars, then you second the motion as a courtesy, because frankly, it has nothing to do with you. But by not seconding the motion, you, not the city council, you are destroying the working relationship with the Lafayette City Council. In conclusion, please amend this resolution to correct all of its flaws, and let's move forward, giving the city of Lafayette its own full-time mayor and the parish of Lafayette its own full-time parish president.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Next is Andrew Duyal, followed by Barbara Kincannon.
I'm back. Kevin, you know, I was just trying to make the point that just as if the city honed in on parish functions, or horned in on parish functions, that if the opposite happened, there would be some concern there. So that's the point I was trying to make. Anyway, in my opinion, this resolution is just misguided, and it's an attempt to deflect from the work of the Protect the City Committee. Seems to me it's only intended to protect only the interests of the parish. And as the facts of the PTC's draft report show, the facts of that report show, the parish needs to be able to benefit from the financial support of the city via unfair, and I won't say unlawful or corrupt, I don't think that's what it is, it's just unfair allocations of costs and other attempts at controlling city assets. In the second whereas clause, you guys kind of mirror your intent, talking about considering not only the interests of the parish of Lafayette as a whole, but also the unincorporated areas of the parish of Lafayette, the city of Lafayette, and then the other municipalities. So, but what interests of the city of Lafayette must you, the parish, consider? The parish council and the parish government, you provide what I said before, statutorily required parish-wide functions like the courthouse, jail, etc., a library system. A few other functions, and that's about it. Again, I respect, Brian, your work on the council, but I'd never come to you with a city of Lafayette issue. And for that, I'm well represented, as are all the citizens of Lafayette, by their city council member. I don't need and I don't want my parish council member getting involved in the affairs of the city, and I do want my own mayor. In the fourth whereas, and I won't read that one, but it points out that in 1992 consolidation passed by an overwhelming majority. That's a statement of fact. That's true. However, 100 years ago, prohibition passed. And it was such a bad idea that it was repealed, right? The same situation exists here. Consolidation passed almost 20 years ago. And you know what? It's proven to be a bad idea. It doesn't work. It's time to repeal it. It hasn't saved the taxpayers a dime. It was purported to save millions. It didn't do that. And it's led to nothing but turf protection, not just by you guys, city too. I understand why you want the status quo. I don't want it too. I agree with the overarching sentiment expressed in the resolution that the city and parish council should work together. But the city council should deal with those clearly city functions, clearly parish functions. Stay in your lanes. And finally, I respectfully ask you all to consider, parish council members, to consider the substantial numbers of City of Lafayette voters who reside in your districts, who will be hesitant to support you as parish council members as you work to deny them the proper representation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Barbara Kincannon, followed by Keith Falk.
Hello, I am against this CPA as it is written. I do not think it is bringing an atmosphere of respect, decorum, or I'll leave that last word out. I don't think it's fair if you're going to leave it with only one member from the city to be appointed to the commission. And I do not like the time limit from 2 to 4 years. We have been down this road many, many times. I have always wanted it to go back to city, parish. I've read 14 articles from different newspapers, and I really like Jeff Daly's columns from The Current, who put it matter of fact, very easy to understand. And one of his was, you were asking about the money, what has consolidation cost the city of Lafayette? More than $100 million in opportunity. And also that consolidated government is letting everyone down because we don't exactly know who's paying for what. The parish and the unincorporated areas may be paying for what they are not receiving. It all does have to be unknotted. We can't proceed without knowing all of that. I liked the article from Councilman Pat Lewis about oppressing the taxpayers, the city taxpayers. I think he put it pretty succinctly also against this CPA. And that's about all I have to say. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Keith Falk, followed by Wallace Senegal.
Keith Falk, concerned community activist. Let's fast forward. Let's rewind a little bit. We fast forward already. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to 1992. For some, the name Andy Hebert might ring a bell, but for some, it don't because you're fairly new. But back in 92, the former city council was bombarded by the police jury. It was election year, and before the city residents had a chance to elect a new city council and a new mayor, the police jury just decided in 92 to just go ahead and bring it to a vote of the people for the full parish for consolidation. Now that happened. After a while, Andy Hebert ran and researched, and it was outside the law in an election year. Now let's go back to when Fix the Charter came in. When Fix the Charter came in, Fix the Charter was supposed to give us a city council like we had to have now. But it was supposed to also give us a mayor and our own autonomy. That got left out. So that's where the mistakes is at. And if you want to fix it, let's bring it to a vote of the people and put it on the ballot the way it's supposed to be put, and stop sugarcoating it and wording it wrong to confuse the citizens. Let's put it on the ballot the way it's supposed to go. It's been on the ballot multiple times, but not the way it was told to the citizens that it was going to go on the ballot. So, and as far as Parks and Recreation go, yeah, Parish, they got Parks and Recreation, got somebody to come in and help with the budget with Parks and Recreation, but it took away some of the dire services from Parks and Recreation, like the park security. You barely see the division cutting grass in the parks within the city. I'm talking within the city. So let's just get it on the ballot the way the citizens of Lafayette, and you also got Parish residents. Now, if you think full deconsolidation won't work, well, let's go to all the municipalities in the parish and everybody consolidate. If it was so good for the city of Lafayette, Broussard would have consolidated. Youngsville would have consolidated. You know, they don't want to consolidate. So that's the reason why Lafayette want to get out of it and unmarry.
Next
Next speaker
speaker, please.
is Wallace Senegal, followed by Ann Swanson.
Wallace Senegal, concerned community activist. Fix the charter. Mr. Gilbo, Mr. Nakane, I'll get some good statement. You know, I wish we could go back to the non-member charter where consolidation first got started. It was a lot of things going down back then, because I've been coming to consolidated government meeting since 96. And a lot of things that's going on right now with fix the charter, like Mr. Mark Pope said, you know, it takes away from what's really going on. When they brought up fix the charter, Jay Castile was on the council. He had 17 amendments that night, you know, just before it went to the voters. What it did, you put a whole lot of eggs. Some of the eggs was rotten, some of the eggs was okay. But once you put a rotten egg and a good egg together, you can't get a good egg. You got a rotten egg regardless. And this is what's happening. We would definitely like to have our own mayor. We would definitely like to have our own attorney for the city government. We would definitely like to have our own chief of police, you know, because all these things help the city. The parish have it. If the parish could have a ball, why we can't have our own ball too, you know? And if we don't want to deconsolidate, let's go back the way it originally was, before consolidation. And I don't want to take up all my time because, you know, everybody got something to say, but I want to thank Mayor President Josh Gilroy for this wonderful proclamation that he gave me, you know, in the privacy of his own office, because we had a meeting, and he said, wait a minute, I got something for you. And I was very proud to get this, and I would love to take a picture with him, of him giving me the proclamation. Thank you, guys. Hey,
Thank you, sir.
Let's do what we...
Ann Swanson, followed by Andre Como. You can, yes.
I can wait.
Go ahead, Ann, you can go.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My name is Ann Swanson, and I'm a homeowner in the Honorable Kevin Nakan's Parish District 2. So this 4th of July weekend, we celebrated our U.S. Declaration of Independence. And now it's 245 years later, and we're working to figure out the best methods for self-governance for both the parish of Lafayette and the city. As part of this process, Councilman Gilbo and Carlson have submitted a resolution with the intent to improve relations between the parish and the city. And I'd love to work with y'all for these worthy goals. But in that spirit, my biggest concern with the resolution presented tonight is timing. This resolution would delay the Charter Commission even further and cost the taxpayers even more money, even though I know that goes against the intent of the resolution. And thus what I'm advocating for is that this resolution be tabled until our parish and city councils vote to enact a charter commission. State law gives the Charter Commission 18 months to do its work. We've already gone a quarter of a century without a fair form of government for either our parish or our city. So additional delays are unnecessary and unjust. Regarding the cost of a charter commission, the purpose of a charter commission is to evaluate the best way for a local government to serve its people. A charter commission is the state-mandated legal mechanism to do this, and thus is an essential cost of running the government. A charter commission is our local version of a constitutional convention. And while I certainly support other methods to help our government run smoothly, it can't take the place of a charter commission when we are at a crossroads like we are at today, about whether we actually have a fair system for both our parish and our city. The biggest thing that will cause delay, this is the biggest thing that will cause delay in the start of the Charter Commission. And of course, I'd always encourage the parish and city governments to work with citizens to ensure fair representation, but having a city-parish alignment commission ahead of a Charter Commission will only delay matters further. When Benjamin Franklin was leaving the U.S. Constitutional Convention in 1787, he was asked if the U.S. would be a monarchy or a republic. Franklin famously said, "We have a republic if you can keep it. Please work with us to form this Charter Commission to help us keep it."
Thank you very much.
Andre Como, followed by Wayne Colvin.
My name is Andre Como. I reside in Lafayette Parish. John Gilbo represents me. Thank you, John, for the time you've given me. I disagree with you. For the record, I ask you to withdraw this resolution. I find it contentious. I believe the end of the Lafayette consolidated government is inevitable. If any benefits were realized by the city of Lafayette in consolidation, they are outweighed immeasurably by the city's loss of self-determination. This body should be planning how to operate the parish independently, how it will work with the city of Lafayette to reallocate resources and responsibilities and use intergovernmental agreements where resources can be shared in an equitable fashion. The committee you propose to assemble would be perfectly suited to help you do that. Much of the preamble of this resolution I find misleading. Yes, the parish council members and city council members should work together for the benefit of their constituents in an atmosphere of mutual respect, decorum, and collegiality. The city council members are attempting to do just that. If you adopt this resolution, you will undermine the goodwill they have opened and extended to you. You attempt to put this resolution into the context of prior deconsolidation efforts when the city had no council. That's moot. That part of the preamble is weightless because no elected officials spoke exclusively for the city of Lafayette during those times. Today we have a city council, and they are voicing publicly that the city of Lafayette should have its own mayor, separate financial management, separate legal representation, separate governance. The lone exception is Andy Nakan. I attended Mr. Nakan's town hall meeting on this subject a couple of weeks ago. He spoke clearly against deconsolidation, but his audience was having none of it. One by one, city residents stood and disagreed with him. I am hopeful he reconsiders his position after hearing the voices of city residents he was elected to serve. The suggestion that we have not had time to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the most recent city charter, the most recent charter amendments, I think is a distraction. The city of Lafayette has gained strength. It has regained an independent voice it had lost in consolidation. The weakness The city still lacks autonomy that is enjoyed by the other municipalities in the parish. The card you play here tonight demonstrates the point and appears that you are attempting to keep the city in this inferior position. Please don't cloud the atmosphere. Please extend to the city council to work with them. Please reach out and embrace them, and please reconsider this contentious resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Wayne Colvin, followed by the final speaker, Jan Swift.
I commend Councilman Gilbo and Mr. Nakhan for their statements. They summarize it well, a lot of what has happened in the last couple of years, particularly Mr. Gilbo saying, we've had this charter and trying to deal with it under very trying circumstances, lack of time, and just the COVID that wrecked everybody's budget. I attended several of the Protect the City task meetings, and the questions and the task assignments were half of them were one-sided yes or no answers. When you're looking for something, and you don't want to paint a survey with just a yes or no unless that's the answer you want. If you're really looking for answers, you want the yes, no, and everything in between, and then I didn't hear that from the Protect the City. So I was very disappointed and thought their report was biased going in, and they made some overstatements and would make a shout out with something that was not totally representative of maybe a budget or so. The reason I think the city ought to try and the parish ought to try working together is look at the parish as a whole, Lafayette Parish. Now, you can look at a map, a Louisiana map, and see how it stands out with all the other parishes. Now, you don't need to go have a big Louisiana state map. Look at one that was in the newspaper yesterday with the COVID. Look at the size of Lafayette Parish. It is small. Where's our population? It's spread out. We have some in the west. We have some in the north. We have it in the middle. We have it in the east and the south. It's scattered all over. What has Lafayette done? Lafayette has grown 13% over the last several years. What have the other metropolitan areas have done? Shreveport's lost terribly. Baton Rouge has lost ground. New Orleans has lost ground. Lafayette is doing something right. We need to keep it, and we need to maybe look at some of these areas where we got to work together and everything. We haven't had the time, and we need to explore these areas as they've outlined in this proposition here. So I encourage y'all and support your efforts in doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Final speaker, Jan Swift.
Thank you. My name is Jan Swift. I live in District 4. Thank you, Councilman Gilbo, for your service. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you, and I want to thank each of you for your service to our community. I've been honored to serve as chair of the Protect the City Committee. I've also been honored to serve alongside our council clerk and staff. Thank you for all you've done to help us gather information. All 7 of us who serve want to see residents of the city of Lafayette and the parish of Lafayette receive a fair shake. We came in with open minds, and I wanted to say this to Mayor President Guillory, but we had no desire to point fingers at any particular elected officials. We haven't worked for the past few months simply to draft a preordained conclusion that Lafayette needs its own mayor and the attendant protections that come with a complete separation of city and parish finances. And as some of you may know, our committee members are not 100% in agreement with our findings. But as the facts unfolded, we've learned more about how consolidated government operates. We were also unable to get information we requested relating to cost and how time is allocated. We haven't been able to get enough information, and that kind of helped inform our report. We believe that our current form of consolidated government adversely impacts the city of Lafayette, especially of quality of life issues. We've all unanimously concluded, as you've heard from others, that we need our own mayor. Perhaps if our city councils and parish councils had worked out joint operating rules and the city had been able to get its own council, we wouldn't be here today. We've also learned about Councilman Nakhan's future funding, future needs report, which I won't go into, but we believe that a lot of what's in this resolution has already been covered. Deconsolidation is a loaded term. As an aside, I'm a proponent of realigning or reorganizing the delivery of our government services. I don't think the word has to be that important. In closing, I'd like to say the power begins with us, the people. The legitimate power of government begins and ends with us, the people. I'm asking you to remember this fundamental principle as you vote on this resolution today. How are you using the power with which you've been entrusted? And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to end with this. I'm asking you, as it looks like you're moving forward on this resolution, to remain open to convening a charter commission. It only takes 3 out of 5 votes. If that avenue is closed off, citizens have the right under state law to gather signatures and represent ourselves when our elected leaders do not do so. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Ms. Veronica, any other speakers?
No other speakers, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Nakhan? I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Nakhan.
Okay. First, thank you all that spoke. There's a lot of emotion in the room, and there's a lot of, I don't have much time left on this council. And I promised when I walk out of here, I wanted to fix the parish, but my other goal was to make sure that the city had their opportunity. And, while all the other municipalities chose not to consolidate, there's nothing we can do about that. We can't change that. I would like to think that in some ways, the marriage, so to speak, has been beneficial in some areas. Maybe it hasn't been in some others, but to say that it's been horrible or terrible from the jump, I have a tough time saying that because I thought we did some good things under consolidation. Mr. Gilbo, I'm looking at this resolution, and I'm going to offer amendment. This 2 years, and I don't have but 3 years, and I promised the people in my district, and I'm promising the people of Lafayette that I'm going to be honest, the fastest way, and it's not necessarily, let me take back the fastest way, because sometimes moving too fast is not good either. But to me, the only correct way to move in the right direction, the only charter commission that should be considered is an olive branch to the city of Lafayette to see if they want to charter themselves in the parish, and let us work it out. 2 years for this committee is too long. 6 months is what Protect the City Committee had. I'm hearing from a lot of people, but time is on our side. And those that are going to run in the future, I mean, I know how crazy it was trying to run, not knowing what district you were in and everything else this past go around. I want to do what's right by the taxpayers. I want to do what's right by the parish. A lot of this information that this committee is going to look at, it don't take 2 years to figure. I don't mind supporting this, but it has to be some amendments on the table. And one of them is the time frame has to change from 2 years to 6 months. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to ask my fellow council members that in the city that after this meeting is over, that somebody, we got to have some one-on-one discussions, and we got to have some serious talks about making this work for everybody. And if there's a sign that it can get done, or the parish council is willing to do it, I hope what I'm about to do is going to pass. But my amendment on the floor is to reduce the time from 2 years to 6 months, and I want, after 6 months, I want to protect the city committee and your committee to join together and have some discussion about what both parties found out. And if we can't come to consensus then, and this gives the city council 6 months to talk to the parish council for 6 months and figure if we can't figure this thing out on our own in a timely manner. I think that's the most respectful thing to do, and I think that's the right thing to do. So I'm willing to support your committee, but I think they got to get the same time frame as the Protect the City to get 6 months. And then after that, those two committees talk. Meantime, we not negotiate, let me back up. We talk with our fellow city council and figure out how to proceed from there. And so I'd like to amend it on the floor to reduce it from 2 years to 6 months. Has to be a report given to the parish council in 6 months, and then, and to the city council. And then at that point, I want to protect the city committee and Mr. Gilbo's committee to work together, and then let the two councils have some discussion within the next 6 months. I'd like to also get with the attorneys to figure out, can it be amended? Can our two councils charter ourselves? Can we do those things? Let's find out what we can do to be united as one and try to give the taxpayers what they want. You know, so that's my amendment. If I can have a second, I appreciate it.
We have a motion by Council Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson, to amend the time frame from 2 years to 6 months, correct?
And for them, at the end of the conclusion of their report, to get with the Protect the City Committee at an open meeting if they want. I don't care, to find out, could collaborate and find out what we can do. What you know, let's just.
All right, let me turn to council, and we've already amended, so can we add another amendment?
Yes, you can.
So it's amend?
It would be an independent amendment.
An independent. Do we need to take the amended?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question of clarification for the motion. First of all, the motion on the 6 months, is that the way the resolution is written, it's written now as a 2-year initial term with a second 2-year term available? Is your amendment eliminating the second term and it's just a 1-term 6-month period?
Yes, a 1-term 6-month period, no reunion, no renewal, 6 months.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that amendment. Also, as far as the amendment regarding the meeting or the discussion or the conversation or whatever you want to call it between your committee, if you form it, and the Protect the City Committee, technically you can't really dictate what the Protect the City Committee does. And so is your amendment offered as you encourage the Protect the City?
Or recommend.
That's the word I'm looking for.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want anybody to misinterpret the amendment that you are, you know, in somehow.
I mean, it's my wishes, but if you can put it in words that is going to go on the record as an amendment, that's what I want, yes.
Right.
All right.
We'll have it as you'll recommend that the two committees get together at the end of the 6-month period.
Right, and that doesn't stop the city council and this parish council from talking within 6 months and working together with both committees. Okay? All right, that's my amendment.
Okay, Ms. Williams, if you would, read the amendment as proposed.
The amendment is to reduce the 2-year period to a 6-month period without the possibility of an extension to the end of that 6-month period. And he's recommending that both committees at the end of the 6-month period get together to discuss moving forward.
Okay. Wait, hold on, Mr. Davis. Okay, go ahead.
The only question I have, if after that 6 months, you need to leave, I think we need to leave something in there, leeway, 3 more months, just to, if it's not finalized, not that, I don't think we need to go a whole year, but
No,
amend.
Here's where we got to get. We're gonna play tit for tat. 6 months. They find out what they can. They communicate with another committee that spent their 6 months with the goal that if both committees and two councils can't come up with a recommendation, or maybe we come up with the fact that we need to charter our own city council, charter ourselves, and go get it done in 18 months. I think that's the way to go. I don't want to go 3 more months. That just gives that political football to be tossed around because, oh, I don't like what they said, and I don't like what they said, and then we extending this thing out forever. I mean,
So
I'd like to
3
say
months, 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah, okay.
Then y'all get with the other committee. Y'all keep both councils in the loop. And let's have the community dialogue. Let's talk about what it looks like. Let's talk about where we can get. And maybe, we find out that there is a consultant out there that can come in and figure out how to cut the pie and make everything work. But I also want the community to be aware of, it's possible some things are going to come up and we're going to have to make those tough decisions, So.
Councilman Carlson?
I have comments not pertaining to the amendment, so.
Okay, you hold, okay. I'm going to ask again, Mr. Council, do we take that one up separately from the rest or independent? Yeah.
We already voted on the other two, so that's done. Those two are done.
Yeah.
But I'll let Nick.
But will
He
this
said
one
that's
attach
correct.
to the original?
It will be in addition to
Yes, okay.
the
That's what I'm
other
trying to-
two.
Okay. All right, any public comment, Ms. Williams?
We would have to ask for public comment because open meetings law require that before a council vote, you allow public, and this is a new amendment, so we
Right.
would have to ask.
And-
And we have Mark Pope, who's raising his hand to speak to the amendment, reducing the 2-year term to a 6-month term, and that the recommendation that they give with.
Either one is fine.
Either one. And if anyone else wants to speak, you can come to the mic, the second mic.
I'm not going to go long, and I'd ask my fellow citizens to be as concise as possible. I say no. Kevin, it wasn't 6 months. The whole process was rushed on the PTCC side. In fact, we wrap up a month early. I think we need to August when we technically have till. And they wanted to conclude in June. The whole issue has been rushed. That's our problem. Haste makes waste. I would suggest 6 months with options to extend for 3 months. Our Protect the City Committee needed another couple of 2 or 3 months. And once a month for 6 months is not going to get it done. Okay? I'm going to read my conclusion in my paper. We've seen the chaos that resulted from the hurried process of the ill-fated Fix the Charter amendments. Prudence requires that the right decision be made about how to correct Lafayette's currently flawed government, and this takes time. The folly of rushing through such complex matters can result in faulty governance. Let's slow down and not repeat the same mistakes. And I know you guys, the councils, would make the ultimate decision, but there's a lot of details that need to be worked through. We need to talk to people from the Police Jury Association, the LMA, Louisiana Municipal Association. I would love to have just pages and pages for the two councils to work on together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before we go to our next speaker, hold on. I've got to do something for the advice of our attorney. I need to extend the meeting time by 30 minutes, so I do need a motion in a second. Been motioned by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson, that we extend our meeting by 30 minutes. Any discussion? This is not for discussion. Let's vote.
I need to clarify something.
This is only to extend to 30 minutes.
All right. Oh, yes.
Stay with me. Let's go.
According to legal, we need to ask if anybody wants to speak on the motion to extend the time per the resolution, per the rules and procedures.
Anyone want to speak on the time limit?
The time to extend the meeting.
The time
This is
to
just the
extend the
time to
meeting.
extend the meeting. Mr. Chair, there are no speakers. We can move forward with the vote.
Let's vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3? Yes. District 4?
Yes,
The motion to extend the meeting by 30 minutes is approved.
thank you. Hold on, let me. Mr. Nakhan.
Okay, my question, Mark brought up a point. In the Protect the City Committee, was there any language in there that gave them a time frame? 6 months in extension? What was the time frame?
And excuse me, but I don't have the resolution in front of me, but I think it was 6 months from the time of that the committee is appointed.
Do you have your committee already
Am I
appointed, or
correct,
we have to appoint
Jan?
somebody?
No,
Is
I
Jan
don't have
still
a
here?
committee.
Oh, look, she's right. I didn't know she was, that's correct. She's saying that's correct. From 6 months from the time the committee members were appointed.
Okay, so then ours needs to reflect the same thing.
Okay, we could put that in there.
I would say from the first meeting.
Huh?
I would say from the first meeting.
6 months from the first meeting, or when the points?
After the first, when that first meeting starts, go 6 months.
I'm good with that.
You good with that? First meeting.
Okay, we can,
Now, I understand what you're saying about a couple of extra months or whatever, but can we come back and always amend it if we find out in 4 months that our committee needs another month, maybe they need a month or two?
Yes, you can amend this resolution to extend the time.
We're going to keep it like that is, but Mark, I'm going to keep that in consideration when you talk about if we find out we run into a situation that both Jan and your committee says, hey, you know what, we want an extra month. Or if we see we're making headway, I don't mind amending it and giving another month. Let's just make peace when we walk out of here. Pat Lewis, Nanette, fellow council members, let's walk out of here with our heads held high like we actually accomplished something tonight and work together from here on out. That's all my goal is. Thank you.
okay. All right, let's continue.
Hi. So as far as amendments go, I would be in favor of this amendment because, again, the time was something that we brought up. That said, I stand by thinking that we need to table this resolution. Stand by that we should table it to do a charter commission. Okay, if you're not going to do that, which I hope you do that, but if not, I would still recommend taking a little time, taking a step back on this and going through this resolution line by line. There's some language in here that I'm sure it wasn't meant to be, but it sounds like maybe a little bit of a little accusatory, like the word investigate, the parish council, the protect the city committee, the word investigates in there, and that word has a negative connotation. There was some wording around fix the charter that has a negative connotation. And so if the goal is really to bring the city parish or the city government and the parish government together, it's probably not going to work very well if it could reasonably be interpreted like it could possibly be an insult. And so, so my recommendation, I love working together. It's one of my favorite things, but at the same time, I think that even if we pass it, even with the 6 months and removing the LUS and some of the other language that was already removed, it's still going to come across as combative if this is passed as it's currently written tonight.
Okay, thank you.
I'm hoping all the statements we made, we cleared all of that battle and this out of the way,
Thank you for one last opportunity to speak.
And for the viewing public is Jan Swift.
Jan Swift. I wanted to address what Mr. Pope was saying. Our Protect the City Committee, whether or not it should have been named that, I'm very proud to serve on it. We did not look at ourselves as a commission, and we were not empowered to be a commission. We were simply empowered to gather facts, all the while knowing that a charter commission would be needed, whether that takes the form of the councils working together or a charter commission under state law. We were not empowered to draft changes to the Home Rule Charter. And so the 6 months, I believe, is enough time, especially with the work that was done during that 20-month report, Future Needs, Future Funding report. And so I wanted to clarify that, Mark, and thank you for your comments also. And one other thing, on the 6 months, my concern is that there could be a delay in appointing those members. And so if there's not some time frame to appoint them, it's possible you could delay and not appoint them. So I ask that in good faith, and I'm thrilled with what's happened tonight, thank you, but in good faith that those members be appointed quickly. And I know there's only one city council member to be on that. I don't know if that's enough, but I'm just wanting to throw that out. But thank you, and I'm really thrilled to hear the discussion tonight and to know that you want to represent us. You want to represent all of us, all the parish residents. Thank you.
Final speaker on the amendment, Wayne Colvin.
Well, looking ahead, 6 months from now is December. Even if we were to start fairly promptly, that may present problems for whoever you have on the committee, or also getting answers from those that you may want to interact with, from pulling records with public finance, attorneys, whatever. So some of those people that you may want to access would not be available, or the key people are not there, and this could delay or present incomplete data and maybe rush things. As Mr. Pope says, you certainly don't want to rush this, as it seems like maybe was inclined to do. So I encourage you to extend this out, even though you have a provision in there maybe to extend it. Certainly you don't want to go through this all over again, and maybe looking ahead at this time is the proper thing to do. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jared Eubanks.
I just wanted to say thank you to Kevin and the council. I think this is a huge olive branch and goes a long way to actually addressing some of the issues. And I do kind of want to echo some of the sentiments said. This 6 months isn't when a commission or an amendment will be. This is 6 months of fact-finding so that you guys can work in good faith with the other council. So thank you so much, and I support this amendment.
Will Teely.
Hi, my name is Will Teely. I live in Parish District 5. I would like to say that I support this amendment. And when I wrote my speech last night about this resolution, I had 3 big issues. The 4-year kind of never-ending timeline, the mention of LUS and LUS fiber, and the, I'll say, kind of irony about the wanting some decorum and how we can increase our working relationship between the city council, the parish council, and the mayor president. Those are my big 3 issues, and I think with our amendments tonight, we've addressed all 3 of them. We've removed LUS and LUS fiber from the resolution. We've put this in a reasonable time frame. I think we all have to remember that the parish government is far smaller than the city government. So conceivably, this committee doesn't need as much time as the city committee does. And I think this is an olive branch. This is maybe the first olive branch I've seen today from the parish council extending a hand to the city council and wanting to work with them instead of reading articles about what council member said about me and I'm responding to that. That's the sort of mom and dad fighting that we, the kids, don't want to see. So, thank you.
Any other speakers on the amendment? Oh, one more speaker, and Barbara Kincannon.
I just want to say thank you, Kevin. I'm not in your district, I'm in Mr. Gilbo's district, but this does go a long way. 6 months is reasonable. A lot of us, I think, were against 2 years, on to 4 years, on and on. We studied this thing to death. I think I was 20 years old when it started. But I do thank you, and I thank everybody for their time and consideration.
Mr. Chair, I see no other speakers for the amendment.
Okay. Again, Ms. Williams, if you would read the amendment so we know what we're voting on.
The amendment is to reduce the 2-year period to a 6-month period following the first meeting, and with there being no possibility for an extension, and recommending that at the end of the recommendation for this committee, they get with the Protect the City Committee.
Okay, council members, any questions?
Correct.
Okay, not hearing any, let's vote on the amendment.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1. Yes. The motion to amend is approved.
Okay, it's my understanding now, we still need to go back to the original
The resolution as amended.
As amended.
District 3,
What, no, not yet.
What, they got speakers.
Councilman
Thank
Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I really went back and forth debating if I was going to share my comments. I was trying to wait till after the speakers because I wanted to hear what was said. And honestly, I never thought these words would come out of my mouth, but I agreed with almost everything Kevin Nakan said tonight. Right? And, right? So I went back and forth. I said, no, I'm not going to. And then after hearing a few of the speakers, I I felt this was only right, and I don't want to delay this meeting any longer than what's necessary, but I do want to speak to a few of the points made tonight and kind of what brought me to want to draft this resolution. Honestly, when the Protect the City Committee was formed, it caught me off guard. I was not aware of it. I hadn't heard anything of it until I looked at the city agenda, and so I kind of asked a couple parish council members. I said, "Hey, have you heard anything about it?" They said no. I came and sat in the council meeting when it was discussed, and speaking of inflammatory or combative language, that's all I heard. It was accusation after accusation after accusation of what this parish was doing wrong and how the parish was hurting the city. Not one statement made by the city council about how that wasn't true, or how we should work together, or how we should include members of the parish council. And there was no mention of a charter commission. So I listened, I didn't speak. I heard those statements, and it was, of course, supported unanimously. And then I came to a few Protect the City Committee meetings because I wanted to hear what was being discussed. And shortly after it passed, a couple of city council members reached out to the parish council and 2 by 2 met with us to discuss the city council, the Protect the City Committee. And that's really what made me even more concerned than I already was. I was concerned that we weren't included or even consulted or even asked to participate in this. But what I heard in those meetings really made me concerned, because more so than policy or tax rates I think the voters of Lafayette deserve transparency, and I think that's what they crave the most. I think the roadblocks we've seen over the last decade in this government wanting to move certain things forward or accomplish certain things has only been derailed by the lack of trust that the voters have in their elected officials. And so I've told people when I was running, and I've said it repeatedly since then, more importantly than the decisions that we make, I want to restore trust that the voters have in the parish council, in Lafayette consolidated government. And whenever I heard things in this meeting, I thought, this isn't right. Because I was told things like, this is just a city thing and the parish council needs to get in the back seat and come along for the ride. I was told that by a city council member. And I thought, wait, to clarify, so I was told that, and I said, you mean like when my wife and I go on vacation? We pop the kids in the back seat in the car seats and they're along for the ride regardless of where we're going. They don't have a say-so in where we stop, what we eat, where we're going. Like that, we're just along for the ride, not co-equal branches of the legislative body. We're not here to amend this together. Also, there's talk of a charter commission. And I thought, man, that's odd, because a week before, I didn't hear any conversations before the public about a charter commission. Why is it only discussed now? Was it already predetermined that this committee was going to turn into a charter commission? These are the questions that I have. It just didn't make sense. And so I said, look, fine, you might have screwed up from the beginning, but I would like to participate as the parish council. Let's have 7. They had already appointed 7 members. Okay, let's appoint 7 of our own members. Oh no, we can't do that. Well, wait, you just made a case for equal representation, but we can't have equal representation on this committee? I thought that was very odd. And I said, well, why not? I think what we're going to see in the next census data that comes out later this year is that there are more people living outside the city limits of Lafayette than inside the city. Why can't we have 7 and 7? Knowing that John Gilbo represents probably 90% of his district is 90% the city of Lafayette. He'll probably appoint someone who lives in the city of Lafayette. I don't see the parish as everything outside of the city of Lafayette. I see the parish as everything inclusive, including everything in the city of Lafayette, outside, other municipalities. It's all Lafayette Parish. And what was offered to the parish council was 4 appointments by the parish council and 7 from the city council, which is not fair. If we're talking about equality and fairness, that was not fair. Mr. Tabor was there with me. He said, look, would you be willing to do 7 appointments from the city council and 6 from the parish, which I agreed. And that was denied by the city council. They refused. So I haven't heard there was no discussion that night about the fairness, the combative language, the inflammatory language, anything on the part of the city council. But now that the parish wants to do a committee the right way, now we hear all this language. Again, it raises concerns for me. I want to take the opportunity to give all of the facts. When I read through the report, and I read all 29 pages of the Protect the City draft report, and I have highlighted, I'll be more than happy to go over all of it. There are statements made that are half of the information, and what is reported is some of it's factually inaccurate. And I'm saying, wait, we're moving forward with this report? Actually, the dissenting opinion was not even allowed to be added or amended to the end of the report. It wasn't even up for a vote. Why are we afraid of putting all of the information together and seeing what the facts present and making decisions based on all of the facts? See, we've been told that the parish is robbing from the city and that consolidation has harmed the city residents of Lafayette. And unless we take immediate action, this is going to continue. But that's simply not true. I think a few months ago, the mayor-president released a report, and it outlined some of these things, that the city of Lafayette has increased 123% in sales tax revenue, 118% increase in LUS ILOT payments, 21% increase in land area through annexation, 450% increase in general fund balance for the city of Lafayette. That hardly looks like harm to me. It hardly paints the city in an inferior position. So I wonder why such strong language being directed towards the parish and the parish council. I think if you go through this report, there are statements being made that city funds are being used in the parish, while our CFO flat out stated that's not accurate. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, our independent, not city council, not parish council, not LCG, not the mayor president's office, not the Protect the City Committee's auditor, but our independent auditor stated that no city money is being used in the parish, and all the money is being used in appropriate areas. But that's been completely ignored. We had the Protect the City Committee look at the finances for 30 hours. Our independent auditor has looked at those numbers for 13 years. And yet we tend to ignore that point that, the parish is still taking city money and using it outside the city limits of Lafayette, when everyone who's looked at it. Now, I've heard from the committee that we should have a forensic audit done to really verify that. That may be true, but the Protect the City Committee has not done a forensic audit, and so how can they conclusively state that city funds are being used outside the city limits of Lafayette? They can't, and yet in their report, and from what you've heard from many members here tonight, that is what's being stated as if it's an indisputable fact. You can turn to page 4 and page 20. It says that the city cannot allocate its own funds without the parish having a say-so. And I think that's probably a reference to me last budget time not supporting increasing the amount of funds being used by Parks and Rec from the city general fund. I did that for one purpose, which was to highlight the flaws inherently in the Fix the Charter that we have. But what you never saw was that the city council could have gone 2 weeks later and amended the budget, as they do every couple of weeks, and added that money back. And they would have just needed 3 votes from the city council, 4 to make it veto proof, and it would have had no say-so from the parish council. So to say that the city has no jurisdiction or say-so over its own money without a say-so from the parish council is factually inaccurate. We can look at the numbers of growth. Pages 14 and 15 of the report talk about the growth rate of Lafayette, and that because it hasn't grown at the same rates of other cities, and it gives staggering numbers. Youngsville's grown 320%, and the city of Lafayette 9%. Well, yeah, you have a mature city compared to a small municipality. You cannot compare those two. I actually got the census data. And if you look at it, from 1990 to 2000, the city of Lafayette grew at a faster rate than the unincorporated and all of the other parts of the parish did. Now, from 2000 to 2010, the city of Lafayette grew at about a 10% increase, and everywhere else grew at about a 25% increase. Still different, but you know what? You have a mature city versus small areas. I can grow, if I'm a city of 1,000 members, I can grow 100% very easily. If I'm a city of 100,000 members, it's a lot more difficult to do that. And so why report partial information or half facts? Why refuse to include the sole dissenting viewpoint? And my only conclusion, because nobody's been able to point it out to me, is it because that viewpoint didn't align with preconceived ideas? See, nobody's ever been able to give me one example of an ordinance that's not been able to get through the city council. One thing that the city council has not been able to do because of this parish council or because we have a consolidated mayor-president. Not one. So when I read this report, I see a problem. I see a solution in search of a problem. We have to make the problem so big to justify a solution instead of saying, you know what, there are some tweaks around the edges that we can make, and we need to do those. Look at how we're doing our committee. We're going to have an appointee from the parish council, one of our members. We're going to have an appointee of the city council, one of their members. We're going to have an appointee from the mayor-president's office. We're going to have an appointee from the area mayors to make sure that the local municipalities are represented. We're going to have city residents on this committee and people who live outside the city limits of Lafayette. This is how the committee should have been formed from the beginning, and we're trying to make it right. Without any preconceived ideas, without saying, I know how I'm going to vote before we even meet, which is what was stated by a few members of the Protect the City Committee. We're trying to do it right. So look, is our charter perfect? No. Does everyone get all that they want? No. But does that mean that one group is being harmed or mistreated? No, it doesn't. It does give us a great and really unique form of government that I believe in and that works for all the citizens of Lafayette Parish, regardless of where you live. We should all want open and honest conversations, something that we haven't had up to this point. And that is why I authored this resolution, and why I'm supporting it tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Okay, any other council discussion or comments? Ms. Williams, I think we're ready for the vote.
Hold on, I want to say something.
Nope. Nope.
Go ahead, Mr.
I
Knockout.
just want to say, I stuck out an olive branch and you went on a rant, Cat.
I know, that's why I debated saying it.
I thought I was closing the show up. It's all good. I understand why you had to say what you had to say. Let's take a vote so we can move on. We got like 40-something items we have to extend
Yep.
the meeting.
All right, let's vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Absolutely yes.
The motion to adopt as amended is approved.
All right, let's see if we can move this agenda along. Mr. Escott, if I need to amend and the time, let me know. Okay, joint resolution. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Resolution 18-2021, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council adopting the Lafayette Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan 2021.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakhan, seconded by Mr. Carlson. Any council discussion? I do have, Ms. Laverne, are you in the audience? Or Mary? Okay, today I think a number of us received messages about, have we satisfied the public comment section?
Yes, sir. We hired SDMI to revise this plan. FEMA requires that your hazard mitigation plan for your parish be updated every 5 years. They have clear guidance on all the steps that you could take to revise this plan. We fulfilled every step. We had a public meeting in April 16th, and it was a 2.5-hour meeting. We did everything. We submitted the plan to FEMA, and FEMA has approved the plan as written, pending resolution by all of the municipalities and Lafayette Consolidated Government.
Okay, one final question. It was also stated that there was a survey report that was done.
Yes, sir.
Can that be appended to the report itself?
It could be, but at this point, we asking that you please adopt it as written, because if you make any changes at this point to the plan, it has to go back to FEMA for review, which could take anywhere from 2 to 6 months to get it approved. The Lafayette Parish plan is now expired, and it's important that you have an approved plan. If you don't have an approved plan, when hazard mitigation funds are granted, your parish will not be eligible to receive them. We have a resolution done already by the City of Scott, City of Broussard. Youngsville is up on the 8th, and who else? And Carencro, they have their resolutions.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on Dusson and Lafayette.
In Lafayette. Okay, so are you telling me that it can be attached or no?
It could be attached, but it will delay it
Delayed,
significantly.
okay. The other question or issue, it seems like they were having a hard time accessing the draft online.
That's not correct. We had a link that you can go on that I think was shared with y'all, that you just click it. It shows all the steps that were done for the plan. There was a lot of steps to it. And when you click, you can see the draft online, and it shows everything that was sent to FEMA. It meets every crosswalk that FEMA requires. We had a very big steering committee that represented all disciplines throughout Lafayette Parish, all the municipalities, engineers. A lot of people did a lot of work on this plan. We have a very, very good plan. And I think, well, I know that plans are looked at when they go to grants, award grants. So I think with this plan, we have a very good chance of getting grants, being very competitive, because we've employed so many good people to help us write this plan.
Okay, one final comment. Would you make that site, would you state it right here for the record so we will have it?
Let's see here. It's a link. I think, I know it was sent out to y'all this afternoon. Let's see if I
I
can
know, but
find
for the public that's out there, so they will.
Let's see if I can find the link. I don't know if I brought it.
All right, not to delay, if you would, make sure the council office, Ms. Williams, gets that link, and then we
Okay.
can put it out there for
Yeah.
those.
Okay.
I don't want to delay it. Okay.
And just to let you know that at any time you can amend this plan. So if you approve it tonight, the joint resolution, it could be amended later on in the future to add it. Some of the survey results that we got were not even, didn't even apply to the plan. So we could take that survey, it's a SurveyMonkey survey that we did, and we could have it archived. So if in case anybody ever asks for the input of the citizens, we would have it on file along with the plan.
Okay, we'll make that information available to Ms. Williams, and we can make it available to constituents
Okay.
when they ask. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other council discussion? Public comments? Ms.
No,
Williams?
sir.
Let's vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 19-2021, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 2830 Louisiana Avenue, Unit 63, to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Before we move, I've been advised we need to extend our time by another 30 minutes, so I need a motion second. Been moved by Councilman Carlson, seconded by Councilman Nakant to extend the time by 30 minutes. Any council discussion? Any comments from the public? None? Not seeing any? Then let's vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to extend the meeting by 30 minutes is approved.
Okay, and Cindy has read in JR 019, and we need a motion. Motion by Tabor.
Second.
Seconded by Nakhan. Any council discussion? Not hearing any, let's vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 2021, Joint Resolution 2021, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 2830 Louisiana Avenue, Unit 67, to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Need a motion second. Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Any public comments, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 2?
Where?
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 21-2021, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 2222 Spring Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Need a motion second. Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Ordinance is for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Parish Ordinance 26-2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council permanently changing the polling locations of precincts 104 and 128 as authorized and in accordance with the applicable provisions of the Louisiana Election Code, Louisiana Revised Statute 18:1 et seq.
Need a second. Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can we make sure that we reach out to the Secretary of State's office and that new voter ID cards are sent to the residents in these districts? I know we're just making it permanent, but if we could do that, and also maybe Sidra from the administration, if we could put something on social media. I just want to make sure that people know that they're not ever going to go back to the Como Rec Center, but the East Regional Library will be their permanent voting location from now on, that will help get the word out. Thank you.
The registrar of voters also
Yes.
sends a
Well, I
notification.
know they request it from the Secretary of State, but it's really the Secretary that sends it. So I just want to make sure they get notified.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Involve all the parties necessary to get the word out.
Yeah, whoever's involved.
Whoever's involved. Okay. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Ordinance 27-2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to adjust amounts for administrative and general costs to actual.
Need a motion second. Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Any public comment, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Ordinance 28-2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $420,000 from the RPL Automation System account to the BLDG GRNDGEN Plant Main account within the Library Department of the Main Library roof replacement.
Need a motion second. Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Any public comments? Ms. Williams?
One citizen who did not wish to speak signed in to support the ordinance.
Good, thank you. Any others?
No,
That's
sir.
it? Okay, let's vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Joint ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Resolution 21, 2021, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public internet auction surplus miscellaneous movable property, which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list internet auction.
Need a motion second? Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 23, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Joint Ordinance 61, 2020, to remove the requirement that at least one Lafayette City Council appointment to the Lafayette Airport Commission be an African American in order for the Lafayette Airport Commission to be in compliance with its federal non-discrimination obligations.
So moved.
There's a motion and a second to approve this one. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 27, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending Chapter 74 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances relative to theft of services, revisions to enforcement of same, and establishing penalties for violations.
Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 28, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to adjust amounts for risk management, uninsured loss reimbursements to actual.
Been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1. The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 29, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to adjust amounts for administrative and general costs to actual.
Need a motion second?
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Carlson, seconded by Councilman Nakhan. Any council discussion?
Yeah, Brian isn't participating.
Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 30, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $650,000 from Brill Road Bridge Replacement to Q Road Extension and Frim Boostani Extension Benson projects within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for additional funding needed.
Been moved by Councilman Tabor, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 31, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the amendment of Ordinance 72, 2019 to transfer an additional $40,000 in home investment partnership funds within the Community Development Department from Community Housing Development Organization set-aside funds to 7th District Pavilion for use in the Mason de la Pax Housing Construction Project.
Motion and second. Been motioned by Councilman Tabor, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Not hearing any. Ms. Williams, public comment?
One citizen who did not wish to speak signed in to support the ordinance.
Okay, let's vote. Thank you.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 32, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the non-warranty donation of various adjudicated properties to culture ministries pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472205.
Motion and second. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3, District 4,
Yes.
District 1. The motion to adopt is approved.
Announcement of vacancies on boards, commissions. Cindy, please read.
A vacancy will exist on the Lafayette Waterworks District South Board as of October 1st, 2021. This is a 5-year term. Applicants must be district residents. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov no later than noon, Tuesday, July 20th, 2021, with appointments to be made at the August 3rd, 2021 regular meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council. Resume submissions are public record.
Thank you. Consideration of appointments by council as a whole to boards, commissions. Cindy, please read.
Appointment to the Lafayette Waterworks District South Board for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2021. Applicants must be district residents.
I need,
Yes, I'd like to nominate Leslie LeBlanc.
any other nominations?
I think that was the only one.
She's the only one, so we will vote.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
Leslie LeBlanc is appointed. Appointment to the Lafayette Animal Care Center Advisory Board for a 4-year term effective August 1st, 2021.
Any nominations? You have 2. Go ahead, Mr. Tabor.
I'll nominate Burris.
Kelly Burris. Any others? Any council discussion? Public comment, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Let's vote on Kelly Burris.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yours?
District 3.
Yes.
Kelly Burris is appointed. Appointment to the Lafayette Animal Care Center Advisory Board for a 4-year term effective August 1st, 2021.
Any nominations? Come on now. Come on, Mr. Tabor.
I only have, the other one left is, how you pronounce the name?
Gregory Schmidt.
Gregory Schmidt. That's who I nominate.
Yeah, second now.
Okay. Any discussion of the nomination of Gregory Schmidt? Not hearing any. Let's go to public comment.
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
Gregory Schmidt is appointed.
Introductory ordinances. I remind everyone that item number 26 has been deferred indefinitely. I need a motion and second for from the council to introduce ordinances items 25 and 27 through 29 in globo.
So moving second.
Second.
It has been moved by Councilman Nakhan, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Any public comment, Ms. Williams?
We need to read the ordinances.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Parish Ordinance 29, 2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council declaring the Willow Street Correctional Facility project a public necessity and authorizing the acquisition of the necessary rights-of-way and movable property and other property rights requisite to the construction of said project, either on an amicable basis or through the use of the expropriation process if necessary. Parish Ordinance 31, 2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council providing for the abandonment of a 20-foot access and drainage servitude on an unplatted piece of property located near the intersection of Thalia Road and Barrel School Road. Parish Ordinance 32, 2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of the prior year parish general fund balance in the amount of $2,500 and appropriating within the LA Co-op Extension Service Department. Parish Ordinance 33, 2021, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to sell certain surplus property located adjacent to Cooley Mine Cutoff Canal that is no longer needed for public purposes and to provide for other matters related thereto, and to amend the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by budgeting the sale proceeds of $401,355 to the Lafayette Parish General Fund.
Any council discussion on the introductory ordinances? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's vote.
District 2? Yes. District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
The motion to introduce is approved.
Joint introductory ordinances. I need a motion and second from the council to introduce ordinances items 31 through 40 in globo. Oh, yeah, okay. It has been moved by Councilman Tabor, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 33, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell as public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property, which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction. Joint Ordinance 34, 2021, and joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget and adjusting the manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adding 2 labor foreman 1 positions in the Traffic Roads and Bridges Department, OP Roads Bridges section through the use of fund balance in the amount of $18,090. Joint Ordinance 35, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a maintenance agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the State of Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development concerning the maintenance of state roadways to include mowing and litter pickup, and amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by decreasing the use of Fund 260 PY fund balance by $483 and increasing reimbursement revenue from the State of Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development in the amount of $483. Joint Ordinance 36, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to submit the 2021 Annual Plan Grant Application to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Joint Ordinance 37, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $1,565,183 in CDBG funds received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and appropriating funds within the Community Development Department. Joint Ordinance 38, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $621,181 in home funds received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and appropriating funds within the Community Development Department. Joint Ordinance 39, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $1,392,777 in Community Development Block Grant COVID funds received from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development and authorizing the transfer of $1,282,623 in funds within the Community Development Department to community-based organizations as follows: Acadiana Cares, Boys and Girls Clubs of Acadiana, Hospice of Acadiana, Second Harvest Food Bank, and the Lafayette Council on Aging to deliver community-based services in response to COVID-19. Joint Ordinance 40, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing a transfer of $90,000 in Community Development Block Grant funds within the Community Development Department to the Hub Lafayette Ermit Ministries. Joint Ordinance 41, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $8,817,622.05 in Emergency Rental Assistance Program funds received from the U.S. Department of the Treasury through the Louisiana State Office of Community Development and appropriating funds within the Community Development Department. Joint Ordinance 42, 2021, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $304,867.78 in Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funds received from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the August 2016 flood event and appropriating within the Community Development Department for use toward the 10% match liability for the FEMA Public Assistance Program.
Any council discussion on the joint introductory ordinances? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Then I call for a vote to introduce in globo items 31 through 40.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
The motion to introduce in globo is approved.
Comments from the public on any other matter not on the agenda, items not on the agenda. This is the time to speak about topics relative to the parish of Lafayette that are not included as agenda items. No debating, confrontational statements, or personal attacks will be allowed. Keep it professional, please. For efficiency and to allow everyone the opportunity to speak, questions should be submitted in writing to the clerk of the council if necessary. We will keep it to the 3-minute rule. Ms. Williams, any speakers?
We have two speakers, Mr. Chair, the first of which is Melissa Vidrine, and she will be followed by Agnes Corville. And she has documents.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Vidrine, and I'm a resident of Lafayette Parish. I would like to request kratom be banned in our parish. I would also like to request our first responders be provided education and trained on kratom as an unregulated and dangerous substance in our community. My 26-year-old son, Daniel, was also a resident of Lafayette Parish. Daniel died unexpectedly on the morning of February 21st of 2021, and his autopsy concluded he died of acute mitragynine toxicity, kratom. Kratom is sold in several gas stations and smoke shops in the Acadiana area in capsule form. It is sold as a botanical specimen and not approved for human consumption. I was unfamiliar with kratom until 2020 and was unaware that kratom would be the sole cause of Daniel's death. At the time of Daniel's death, the first responders were unfamiliar with kratom. I have concluded over the past few months, our community, first responders, and medical professionals are unaware of kratom or the danger it poses to our citizens. According to the DEA, kratom produces both stimulant effects in low doses and sedative effects in high doses and can lead to psychotic symptoms. The DEA has also indicated kratom is not controlled under the Controlled Substance Act and has listed kratom as a drug and chemical of concern. The DEA made efforts to make kratom a Schedule I drug in 2016 but failed because of lobbyists, proponents, and users of kratom. The general public has been and remains unaware of kratom. Kratom is highly addictive and has opioid-like effects. In February of 2019, the Louisiana Department of Health published a study on kratom. The report indicated mitragynine can be used to produce 7-hydroxymitragynine, which is more powerful than simple mitragynine. House Resolution 203, filed in 2019 by Representative James, indicated in animals mitragynine has effects similar to codeine. In mice, 7-OH mitragynine is more potent than morphine. The containers of kratom Daniel would purchase had 3,900 milligrams of mitragynine and 135 milligrams of the 7-OH mitragynine. The directions only indicate to consult your healthcare professional and to determine if this product is right for you and how to use it safely. In October 2018, Louisiana Poison Center indicated when severe effects or deaths are observed resulting from kratom, it can be reported immediately to LDH so that kratom can be moved immediately to Schedule 1. Unfortunately, my son, Daniel, is that one known Louisiana death. Multiple other states, municipalities, and counties have already taken decisive action and banned kratom due to the adverse health and safety concerns. My hope is that our local, state, and federal government will take decisive action to ban and/or regulate this horrible substance, to include labeling. No other family should have to suffer the loss of a loved one due to a substance that is dangerous and unregulated. I request the following to be done in Lafayette Parish. Ban the distribution and sale of kratom or any product containing 7-hydroxymitragynine or 7-OH mitragynine. To provide education and training about kratom to our first responders that serve our community.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Agnes Corville.
Good evening. My name is Agnes Corville. I am a retired teacher, recently retired. I was teaching at the French Immersion in Lafayette. I am a resident and homeowner in Lafayette, District 1. I'm reporting loose pit bulls in my community. It's been 6 months that I've been reporting the pit bulls, the loose pit bulls. I have our time to reach Lafayette Animal Control, which is called Lafayette Animal Shelter and Care Center. The phones are not answering. There is no possibility to leave voicemail messages. I've been attacked several times, and I have a service dog. I had to use my pepper spray, and I failed recently. My neighbor got attacked and injured on June 6th. One of the pit bull got picked up by Lafayette Animal Control and got returned 10 days later. These pit bulls got loose again, and I've been attacked again. Since I sent to Judge Guillory, president of and mayor of Lafayette, certified mail, and I sent a certified mail to Lafayette Animal Control supervisor. I received a response recently, and apparently Lafayette Animal Shelter cannot do anything for my request. So I'm requesting my council and Lafayette City to tell me which procedures I need to do to protect myself, my dog, my community, and my neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Nakia?
Ma'am.
Ma'am?
Madam.
Ms. Corville?
Ms. Corville. What district you live in?
District 1.
City or parish?
City.
Okay. This is with the parish council, but I tell you what we're gonna do. Robert Benoit, he's building like a state-of-the-art animal facility, and he does a real good job. And administration is gonna help out with us. And what we'll do is we'll refer.
We have the information. Joseph already grabbed it, and we'll follow up, and we'll be in touch with her through the council members. Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Good evening.
Merci beaucoup.
No other speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay, no other business. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
And we'll immediately